Hey everybody, and welcome to another RCT2 review. Today we're continuing our head-to-head 10 contest review series, and we are now on round number 5 and match number 2. This is the Evergreen Gardeners and Bene Volantes. This was made by Fisch with 64%, 6 Frags, 30%, Lurker at 4%, and Sadret at 2%. And this is a pretty cool map. So the premise, as I understand it, is that this is a floating island, which you can see here, that travels around this fantasy world and picks up orphans to give them a new home where they can learn and grow and, do all sorts of stuff, I guess. That's a really terrible explanation, probably, but hopefully if Fisch or Six Frags or one of the Evergreen Gardeners is watching this video, maybe they can leave a comment with the further storyline, because there was some fairly in-depth conversation as I recall from it. So the first thing you'll probably notice if we zoom out a little bit is this gorgeous landscape behind it. It's really neat, and what's cool about it is it's not just the single landscape. So there's actually a plugin here called the Bene Volantes Travel to Location. So we can say, alright, I want to travel to this Lurker, and we'll click this, and we go away, and then comes on back to this great kind of snowy mountainous landscape. And we can say, alright, now we want to travel to Rune Coast, and it will give us a new picture in the back. So it's a pretty neat thing, it's a simple feature. Well, I say simple, but I don't know how it was coded, but it's a very effective tool, and I like the way that it highlights the map and kind of gives it a cool backdrop and everything else, rather than just kind of floating in the middle of space. We've seen a lot of floating islands over the years in this game, but it's kind of neat to see this. And I always appreciate floating island, because when you make the scenery invisible, the whole thing just goes away, and it's a lot to think through as far as the building process goes, because you basically got to create your land first and then build on it. Well, let's get into it, because there's actually a lot to see on this. Admittedly, the gardeners did say that this wasn't fully finished, polished, all sorts of that kind of thing, but you wouldn't necessarily know it, I don't think. We're going to start out with these really gorgeous colored buildings with these gradients from dark to light. I think this red one might be my favorite building on the map, but we've got this great blue one from this purple to bluish to yellow. A lot of these other ones here, this kind of purpley one. I love this yellow facade right here. This is cool if you turn the corner here. One of the downsides, though, of a floating island high up on the map is every time you rotate, you get sent somewhere totally different, but it is what it is. I love this orange one here. Got a little bit of a taper going on, which is actually really hard to do in the game, so that's kind of neat to see that one done. And I like the way that the windows are offset, so you've got this very obvious spiral staircase going on inside. A couple really nice buildings here. I love this angled staircase all the way up with the different heights and angles and that kind of thing. It makes it feel like a very kind of compact, quaint European town to me. This is a great building as well. I love how the green offsets against the terracotta here. This teal as well with these great overhanging balconies. Got these paintings here going on in the middle. Just really nice, just in general. I think it's looks great. And as we go through, we get away from sort of the color here, which is almost a little bit disappointing. I'd love to see the color carry through the whole thing, but it goes into more of this kind of rock stone accented by color. So we've got these little like portals here on this nice kind of curved building. This almost kind of reminds me of like a Gaudi Spanish architect approach. We've got these really interesting forms, cool colors, love the gradients, and all that. These are neat buildings here with the landscape growing out of them and this great kind of curved bits and pieces. This is a pretty cool domed structure here. There's a lot of those kind of domes and towers and circular things. That's kind of a whole motif that's going along. You can pick up this coaster right here. So this is Soaring Wings, and this is the largest coaster. I'm going to spin around and then recenter ourselves here. The challenge with this one is that it's fairly hard to follow, because it goes every which way, and every time you close the map or turn the map, you end up at a completely different spot. So you kind of have to watch it from pretty much one angle and see it from there. So interesting use of the single or the Schwarzkopf Jetstar trains, which is kind of nice. The spiral coaster, I guess it's called in the game, using the new track pieces on the Giga Coaster track. Let's pause it here so that we can turn, and I'll turn one more. Pick it up here, coming down. It does have some rolls in there. Unfortunately, these cars aren't drawn to do that, so don't get to see that. But we got this pretty ridiculous drop off of the side here. So we're going to pick up some great speed, 104 miles per hour, which is just crazy as it wraps all around the rest. So pretty neat for that one. That's our first spiral lift thing. As we turn, we can get to our second spiral lift thing, which is this glider deal called Hang Glider, imaginatively. So the best way to look at this is just to clear out the map, and you can see the green track here going along. Kind of a lot to see here. Let's rotate this. Kind of see it going down and around through this area here. As we turn the map here, you can also see the lazy river here with the tubes going through. And these waterfalls that look like they're generating some power here with the water wheels going on. Got all these pipes and different kind of industrial bits and pieces all pulling this thing together. Got some sheep here. Not sure how sheep feel about living on a floating island, perhaps, but kind of neat to see. Love the library on this side with the glass on top, and then to the glass on this one, we got this a soccer pitch on top here. And get all the rest of the building down below. There's lots of little details here, like we've got the G-force grilling right here. We've got the handyman here, this Posix the mower. Here is the Bene Volantes transport, which is actually a neat ride because it kind of looks like just a train here, but you'll notice it gets some pretty steep climbs going on. And let's see here, I think it's best to turn to look at this, because it actually ends up changing the way that the track relates to the car. So in some cases here it's going to be below like it was on this section. In some cases it will be up above like a monorail, like a suspended monorail. So you can see it dropping right off of the thing here, and you can see it transitioning here to now it's the suspended monorail that goes down and around the map. And as we look down here, we can see one of those stations here down at the bottom that has the regular track here, but then also transitions up into this kind of suspended monorail thing going on, which is kind of neat. Here's a good view of this library on the side here where we've got all this glass. You can see all the different levels and all the stacks going down the whole way. Here we've got a nice little swing ride. Kind of reminds me of the mushroom theme swing ride that was at Europa Park with the kind of brown different colors there. Here's our ride in the station. I love seeing all these little helicopters and planes and different things flying around. There's a balloon over here that just kind of floats around, and then you can see all these. I guess this is what's powering our island here. But there's lots of little, not necessarily clickable stuff down here, but there's lots of little places that you can hide different people down here in different scenes. So we can let's turn again one more time. Like down here we can see all these different platforms. Like here's this guy painting, here's this guy looking off with the binoculars, guys climbing around on the different stuff. So neat to see all those little kind of touches throughout. And there are some other just fun details. Let's having to recenter this every time, but that's the price you pay for this kind of thing. Here's a nice little clickable with Bird Sweeper Lurker, who's clearly cleaning up some bird crap, I guess, from the walls here, and has fallen and is just kind of hanging there. So that's a fun little detail. Love our spiral stairs up. There's our spiral stair checkbox for this one, and I guess a windmill too. That's been kind of an ongoing theme of head-to-head this year. These little market clickable custom ride vehicles have really taken over in the last, I think they were from head-to-head 8 maybe, and they're still doing a great job there. Here's pony riding, dog, Lots of just little tiny details throughout. Here's Baker 6 Frags, who's using the little, I guess it's a kiln oven through here. I actually really like this section with the main tower here that has these arches coming off of it here, coming off of it on the diagonal, coming off of it in the other directions. Just really kind of a neat, structurally cool thing there. And then these planetarium bits and pieces kind of hanging in the middle and changing color too, so it's kind of neat because it's like, I guess, changing where the location is, or changing the different planet, I suppose it is. These like kind of floating looking rocks here that lead to this other area here with the colonnade. There's lots of little parts and pieces in here. You know, it's just a very well put together map in general. I would love to see, you know, if they said that this is not fully polished, I would love to see what the fully polished one looks like, because I think it could be just absolutely gorgeous. I'm sure there's quite a lot more to it. I think, you know, personally, I'd love to see this color and density of the village kind of brought into the rest of this, because I think, you know, this is definitely my favorite part of it all. Just a really beautiful composition in general. Some of the best architecture and coloring that we've seen in the contest to this point. But it's very cool. If you'd like to download this park, which you should take a look for sure, then I'm going to provide a link in the description below, so go check that out. You'll also need to open RCT2 to view it, so I'll provide a link to that as well. Up next, we will look at the opposing park to this one, and it's a good one, at least in my opinion, and we'll check that one out, and then we're almost through the round robin stages, and then we'll get into the final stuff. So, until next time, thank you all very much for watching, and have a great day. See you later.